filled right now, including Administrator McDonald. Why don't we address those first and see where we are, and then we can fill the remaining seats perhaps by a ballot.
I'd like to have a little discussion on it. I didn't get to attend that meeting today, but understand that in that meeting it was agreed that 4 of these members on this 7-member board could be from out of the city limits.
But I think we're going to go with the majority of 4 within the city limits.
I think what let me qualify a couple of things. One, the conversation today at the NRC board meeting was simply to open the bylaws to allow 7 members, which is a necessary amendment. The NRC board doesn't have the authority to say who's on it or who is not on it or what the agreement is to the makeup of that board is. That is strictly a city council decision. Based on the last city council meeting, there was some discussion about that 4 of the members would be residents of Salida and 3, no less than 4 would be residents of the city of Salida. There was some discussion today at the NRC board meeting as to whether or not that limitation was appropriate or necessary, depending on what the goals of the council were.
I am concerned, since area residents can't vote for a city council and you gotta live in the city, and this is going to affect a lot of the people, I think a majority of those members on that NRC board should be from the city. Now, I'm not opposed to having somebody from the county on there, such as Mr. Glenn and others, if they're well qualified, as what Mr. Baker alluded to a minute ago. But I am concerned that this board be made up, myself, this is my own feelings now, that this board be made up of members that are from the city limits.
I'd like to do this in 2 parts. Let's address our 4 that are seated at this moment. I would be looking for a motion to, with all 4 of those names in it and the proposed status.
I think you may want to address, even before you do that, because it may affect how people might want to make those appointments. I think you need to address this issue of inside and outside of the city limits, and maybe somebody could make a motion on what they want to see, and then that's settled as to what the makeup is, and then you can move on to maybe take it in 3 steps, not 2, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, that makes sense. So, any further comments on the makeup of the board?
I would like the board to be made up of the most qualified people possible. And, you know, I just give you Jim Miller as an example. I like to pick on Jim. He doesn't live in the city, but he is more involved than the majority of Salida citizens in the city's business. And I think having the ability to select excellent citizens who just happen to live outside the city limits would be a fantastic thing for the NRC.